Hello, my name is Tom Morell, and I hope all is well. Imagine a diminutive animal that small in nature, but able, ferocious enough to ward off attacks from lions, the king of the jungle. Now imagine this animal being bitten by one of the most poisonous snakes in the world, but instead of dying, simply going into a euphoric or drunken state of mind, only to wake up a few hours without ill effect or hangover. I would like to introduce you to Mellivora capensis, or the honey badger, or more commonly known as the ratel or honey badger. So, where does this animal live, and what does it look like? As you can see here, the honey badger is short, stocky, black, typically with a white stripe going from his forehead through the length of his tail. Nice set of ferocious teeth and some nice claws, which he uses for self-defense, digging, and preying on animals. They weigh in at 35 pounds max and are typically 3 feet long. Uh, from tip of the nose to the tail, tail makes up 33% of the animal's length, and females are typically much smaller than males. For their home range, honey badgers live in all of Africa and over to parts of the Mideast down into Asia. They prefer temperate climates, so no deserts or jungles for them because jungles are too wet and rainy, and deserts are too dry. This, with these points in mind, let's move to the behavior from a standpoint of reproduction, everyday behavior, and eating habits. Honey badgers are nomadic in nature, so they move around. They do not establish uh, home territories, which makes them typically very hard to find because they will not go back to the same place. So researchers have a hard time keeping up with these guys. And they are also solitary, living alone almost their entire life. But you will see families of typically three, with females and her two cubs, until she puts them out to pasture. For reproduction, it's it's accomplished in October or September of every year, typically, but there is no season. They can reproduce anytime throughout the year, depending on if they can see each other, because as I said, they're nomadic and solitary. After a 6 to 7 month gestation period, the female to lay, or excuse me, the female gives birth to two or three cubs, which are hairless and blind, vulnerable at birth. She weans them for about 3 weeks in a den, and then she lets them out. And they typically live with her for a year before she forces them away to live on their own. As far as eating is concerned, the honey badger eat anything is on the menu for these guys. Here, this particular honey badger is eating a snake. They also go for larger game such as antelope, gazelle, maybe even a zebra. They also eat carrion, which is dead animal flesh, as well as vegetables. So they're omnivorous, should I say, overall. This leads me to one of the most important or interesting facts about their feeding habits is their symbiotic or mutualistic relationship they have with a bird called the honey guide. The honey guide will lead honey badgers to honey, and in turn, the honey badger will open the hive, exposing larvae, which is the honey guide's favorite animal. So everybody wins in this case. Animals or people in the honey badger also have a sort of symbiotic relationship. Honey badgers are avid rodent killers. Rodents lead to diseases in Africa and Mideast and Asia. So, the more honey badgers, the healthier the community is. Also, the killing of the rodents and invasive or crop eating bugs leads to a healthier yield of crops every year as well. So, honey badgers are important to humans as well as nature. Also, Louisiana State University's cornerback, Tyrann Mathieu was nicknamed the Honey Badger for his ferocious play while at LSU. He's now currently playing for the Arizona Cardinals. So, in conclusion, I hope you enjoyed my informative briefing on Honey Badger.